usually doesn't have very much time to make something. So today I decided to make a chicken pasta. My kids like it. I try to make as much as I can. So here I've got some chicken that I defrosted, and I'm just going to put some salt, and I'm going to put some pepper in there just to kind of marinate, some of the chicken. And then I also use one of these Italian seasonings. Okay, so next I've taken an onion. I'm going to cut and chop it, and I've got 3 cloves of garlic. And I will tell you, the onion tends to make me cry, so I try to do that really quickly. But I try to chop it really small, so that, I have one child who doesn't really like onions very much, but I think it adds nice flavor to the pasta. Okay, so the onions and the garlic are ready. So that's about 1 onion and about 3 cloves of garlic. Now I'll tell you, you can see I'm crying. I don't know. Someone needs to figure out a way to not have us cry when we cut onions. Okay, so I've turned on the stove. I just turned it on. I'm going to pour in some olive oil. So I have some olive oil. Here goes a little bit of olive oil to kind of coat the bottom of the pan. And then I'm going to put bit of butter, and I am going to let this simmer down a little bit. All right, so my butter has melted with the thing, and I'm going to put with the oil, and I'm going to pour the chicken that's been marinated into this and cook it. The goal is for it to cook before I make the sauce. So that's what the chicken looks like. So I'm going to cook it on both sides. I'm going to do a little bit of a stirring and sort of get it nicely cooked and browned on both sides, and take it out. And I'm going to make the garlic and the onion. Now in a pasta boiler, I have put in some water, I put a little bit of salt, and I put it into boil. So I'm going to let it come to a boil, and then I'm going to go ahead and put the pasta in. And the pasta that I'm using, I'm actually putting a mix of the two. Again, you can use whatever you want. I think it's just, I don't like to waste. So I had some of this and some of that. I'm just going to mix them together and make it for my large family. So the chicken's smelling really nice. I usually try to use some fresh rosemary from my garden and herbs from my garden, but we kind of had a freeze about 2 weeks ago. A lot of my herbs died. So that's why I'm using a little bit of pre-prepped stuff. But it's okay. It tastes good. Definitely better flavor when it's fresh, but all right. So my kids asked me if I could make it a little Cajun style. So I'm adding a little Cajun seasoning to the chicken. So it'll kind of give it a little bit more of a spicy flavor. Again, I would have normally done it earlier on and sort of marinated in it. But again, improvise. So, okay. So there, the water's starting to boil. I put some salt in it as well. And so I'm going to go ahead, and what I basically do is I pour the pasta in the center, and then based on what you're looking for, however much you want. As I said, I'm mixing the two of them, and then I bring it to another. I wait for it to come back to a rolling boil. That's good enough. Then I'll wait for it to come back to a rolling boil. Okay, so it's coming to a rolling boil, so I'm going to set a timer for about 9 minutes. Alexa, set timer 9 minutes. And then here is the meat.
9 minutes, starting now.
Oh, there, she's letting me know. And there is the meat, and it smells delicious. All right, so I took out the meat, and I'm going to pour in some onions that I chopped. With 1 onion, sorry, a little bit of a mess. Usually much cleaner cook, chef. And then there's some garlic that I chopped. I think it was about 3 cloves. And what I'm going to do is, put this aside, and I am going to mix it up a little bit. And so I left a little bit of the sauce from the chicken. It has butter and oil in it, but I'm going to kind of cook this to make it soft and translucent. And then make the sauce, and then add the chicken back in to cook. So I'm going to tell you a little bit. I bought these Dutch oven, and I will say, it cooks really well. I think it's got like an even heat on the base, and so it really cooks the food very well, evenly, and avoids burning. And so I think I really enjoy cooking in it, and the food cooks really well and tastes really good. At least I think so. My kids think so. So you can see the chicken's nearly ready. I'm taking it out. I'm just going to put it in a separate bowl. It's hot. You can see the steaming. while I cook the sauce for the pasta. Oh, it's hot. It smells delicious. There Alexa is notifying me that the pasta is ready. We want the pasta to be al dente. Alexa, stop. So what does al dente mean? And I always used to wonder, my mother was Swiss and she used to make pasta from scratch. So here, I'm trying to pull out some pasta and then check and see if it is al dente. So al dente, I think, means more like not too spongy and not hard, something in the middle. Really good. Pasta's good. I'm going to turn it off. So the onion and the garlic has kind of cooked in some of the sauces over there. So I'm going to go ahead and add other stuff. I have some pre-prepped roasted garlic Alfredo sauce. I'm just going to pour that in. I sometimes make my own, and sometimes I just use one of the organic ones or the Italian ones that you get at the grocery store, depending on how much time I have. But I add on a lot of stuff into it, so it kind of creates its own flavor, which is very different from what their flavor is. Okay, so I've added some of that. The other thing I really like is this pesto. It's called the Mezzetta pesto. I'm not sure why it's not zooming in on that, but anyway, it's great. It's a basil pesto that I like to add a little bit into my sauces as well, because it gives a very nice nutty flavor. A little bit of an extra kick to it. I added about a teaspoon of the pesto, and then I'm adding some red pepper flakes. I'm going to probably add a little bit of cream to kind of get that flavor where I like it. And then I'll add the chicken in and cook it again. So yeah, it smells yummy. It smells delicious. So I've added pesto, I've added red pepper flakes, I've added some cream. I'm just making the roux so that it sort of, once it tastes really good where I want it to taste, then I am going to add the chicken back in. Okay, so I think the roux is ready. I'm going to add the chicken into it so that it can cook a little more. So yeah, there's the chicken. Mixing it in. It's absolutely delicious, actually. It smells yum. Mix up the chicken in there and then let it cook for a bit. So I am nearly done mixing it. It looks delicious. It smells so good. It smells delicious. So you know, it's like my take on a chicken pesto pasta that you can make at home for your kids and your family. It's very easy, very quick, doesn't take very long, and delicious. Delicious, delicious. Once it's ready, I'm going to give you another sprinkle. Oh, I think I splashed myself. Oh well, so much for an apron. It's bubbling, and I'm going to try a little bit of the flavor. Nice, very nice. It's garlicky. I'll just let you know, I love Barefoot Contessa. I don't know if you guys watch any cooking shows. I like Ina Garten. I like Giada De Laurentiis. Some of the recipes of Julia Childs, just some of the authentic, original style of cooking. I do love their cooking, and the food tastes delicious even if you try to replicate it. So relatively easy. I'm not a chef, so good tasting food the kids will enjoy, and you can have a delicious homemade meal. Okay, so I think the chicken's ready and cooked, and so what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to take a little bit of the pasta water, just a little bit. Dump that in here. It's usually about a couple of tablespoons, they say, just to give it a little bit of the flavor. And then mix it out a little bit, and then I'm going to move the pasta in, and voila, it should be ready. There we go. I just pull the pasta in, and now we're just mixing it up. You can see the steam. I did not put olive oil in the pasta water, because they say if you put olive oil it makes the pasta pieces very slippery. So hopefully